gotten everything set up yet with Instagram for my Zoom, but I will be getting you there soon. Okay, so we are good there. Once I get this, okay, volume is down, and I am soon as I get YouTube situated, then we'll be up and running and popping. Okay. We got a couple of people waiting. All right. Today is a very, very important message. So I'm hoping that okay, there we go. We're good now. We are set, ready to rock and roll. Okay, I am Dr. Samuel Lombardo, the Executive Director, CEO, Visionary, and Agent of SL Models and Talent Agency, LLC. You can actually follow us at www.slmta-agency.com. However, we are fixing the homepage so that our event that we have going on right now will go live for voting reason via JavaScript and our submittable platform. So yeah, so you may be able to get online, but you would only be able to see the other information from other pages. So the home page is going to look a little bare, just FYI, for a minute. Okay. Also, I want to bring to the attention to our Instagram family. We are launching. Today is actually the launch date of the Spring Fling and Kid Showdown Extravaganza. And you can find that at SLMTA. Hold on one second. Let me pull everything up here. Okay. slmta.submittable.com/submit. That is where you can get that information. I will be having that in the comments. If you want to be an affiliate to share the contest, you can do so at slmtagency.leaddyno, LEADDYNO.com/affiliate. Okay, and I will explain those details. If there's a way I would like to actually forward some videos over to Instagram, because you guys have been missing a lot, like for the past, I want to say at least 5 months that I've been live. And there's a lot of stuff that is actually happening with SL Models and Talent Agency. But today is not the day for me that I want to mention something. Today's topic, or the topic that you're about to hear right now, is a very, very important topic. It is the watch what you say, who you say it to, and your credibility. See, some folks actually think that they're trying to ruin the credibility of an agency, or maybe just they're upset about the person who runs the agency, or they just flat out do not care, and it's just part of the pandemic scam-like scenario. So let me just bring this to you. Now, I'm not here to do a rant. I'm here to actually give you the truth, and I'm going to say it like it is. But I am also going to say it in a way that I have been alerted, and sometimes you have to think about what you're going to say, especially if you don't know how to spell. I mean, my God, if you're going to hide behind a cat and a dog, you might as well know how to spell with Grammarly before you go and try to put somebody down, right? I mean, it's just, I find that to be extremely, extremely interesting. So let me just make this straight, okay? Let me just make this straight for you guys. All right. First of all, and by the way, I am wearing like nothing professional on the top today because of the fact being like I'm on an off color. Today is my day off. So I'm actually, this is an interactive show. You can say hello, you can do whatever that you want to do, or you can continue to hide behind the cat and the dog and say what you want to say about an agency that does have credibility. But I just find it very interesting. And by the way, you can spell that Credibly. Okay, credibility. I don't know where the A got in there, and I don't know how you get Blity in credibility, but you know, some folks, they're just that bad. Let me tell you, they are just that bad. Okay, so now that I got the laugh out of the way, let me be a little serious. Okay. And here's a serious thing that I want to talk about. You know, sometimes we don't realize who we are speaking to, and we end up thinking that we are doing a good service and could end up doing a disservice. The reason that this is very important is because let's say if this person whom I am talking about that wants to try to ruin a reputation of either whoever I am or the agency is, they could have killed 100 contacts just like that. I could tell you for sure that the risk management team is looking at those screenshots that were delivered to me by various people, and that has been telling me about this particular person or persons that were doing this. Now, yes, we do have top models within that modeling agency. And for that reason, the only reason that we actually highlighted Ashraf Talsi is because him and Joel Martinez are two international top models, world renowned, that are actually on our roster. There are many others, but we are not going to how do I want to say this? We've already learned the lesson before the lesson came. And now we're basically going to have to do that only because we are starting to see new things happening with wannabes. And I'm going to explain to you what it is. And agencies, hear me out, because this is happening with so-called wannabes, or perhaps just some robot. We don't even know what this is all about. And I've been asked by the people that I actually do know, that these wannabes that say they know me, actually, you know, are messaging. So I'm getting messages from various individuals like, do you know so-and-so? Do you know blah, blah, blah? And then I get the screenshots of the conversation. So let me explain to you why it's important about, you know, watching what you say. And believe me, I practice what I preach when it comes to this, because it's a huge thing. For some of you that thought that this wasn't going to come, let me tell you, you will be found out. It's just a matter of time, and it will happen, and you would be found out. Now, my risk management team is researching all of that. And when it happens, we will send a cease and desist in regards to defamation. Okay, because we do take these things serious. So here's the reason why this is actually very serious. The claim is, now understand this, we know that various people can scam one way or the other, right? This one's actually the worst one yet that you could even attempt to, because there's no way to argue it unless you just tell them, all right, show me the proof, but they don't have any real actual proof. The claim is, okay, that agencies, I'm just gonna say it generally. Some of these folks are claiming that agencies are asking for pictures, are actually asking for pictures, loading them up, acting as if they are an actual model for an agency to have models signed, when in reality, one or two things have to happen. Either A, you sign a photo release, and that photo release is for the purpose of the photo release only, or you actually did sign. Now, SL Models and Talent Agency has both of them, so it doesn't make a difference. But the problem is, a lot of people will go and try to say certain things and forget either A, that they've signed photo releases, or B, actually try to claim that they didn't do something that they already did. So why do you think it's important that agencies actually, keep information, right? It's important for agencies, especially new ones starting up. It's very important for you to keep a paper trail of information, but you also got to know how to run the law of specific things. Okay. Now, the issue at hand is that apparently it's not so much the verbiage of, I mean, it's bad enough that they would actually say that agencies are using photos and saying that they're quote unquote their model or something to that sort, right? It's a whole nother thing to turn around and actually try to put a claim on somebody that they don't even know. And this particular example would be, oh, there was this girl that was young. There's only 3 females in my whole entire roster. We're actually looking for, female, on our roster. So we have actually built up a platform to be able to do that. But there were no photo releases, and there were no signings as of yet for any other females thus far. We are looking at that. We had a few of them that actually have messaged us in consideration for it. And then there is one that is heading to New York, but now the way the message is claimed is that they fell off the face of the earth. Basically, they went off of social media. Now, I know that this is a fake altogether. I just wanting to let you guys know that if you ever see any kind of content like that relating to SLMTA, definitely report it. Because I'm going to tell you right now, what they really did is destroy their reputation with a very good possibility with one of our top models. They had the nerve to actually contact one of our top models about their fake, phony, scam-like solution. And it came back to me. And it wasn't even just that person. It was also two other folks that brought it to my attention. So I usually say around, strike three and you're out. But I don't know who I'm cutting out, and I don't want to cut out the wrong person. So I do want to make it very loud and clear right up in the front of the whole entire discussion, and now I'm going to get into the topic, that you have an issue, then bring it to me if there's an actual issue. And if it is real that there is somebody that was on the website or on the whatever, because let me explain something. I'm not afraid to admit this. The one flyer for the open Zoom calls, 3 of the photos are accurate to, and hello, Lois, how are you? 2 or 3 of those photos are actually Joel Martinez. He pulled them from his portfolio and put it on there. The other ones came from just stock photos that are allowed with marketing materials. So they paid a license fee to actually get it or whatever. But it helped. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to validate what happened. But there are going to be those who are going to, this is where this is stemming from. I'm actually showcasing our real, true talent, but also the credibility of those talent. And I'm not going to stand for and or entertain some wannabe hiding behind a dog or a cat photo on a Facebook link trying to claim something that is not actually true. So if you have a situation, please email me. Email me with a real name and because I won't entertain bull BS. I don't have time for that. And so that's what, as far as I want to go with that. Now, again, this situation is being investigated. I put it straight in as soon as I gotten these screenshots. I put it in this morning to the risk management team. And if lawyers actually have to be involved, they will be involved if necessary. But I do know I will be sending a cease and desist to whoever that person is when the investigation is done. But I do want to let you know that we do not take that. We do not play around when there's things like that happen. SL Models and Talent Agency, especially, here's the 2 things that we are concerned about. We are concerned about what type of photo they're going to try to use to say that we were actually implementing, which is going to be false all the way around anyway. And then who is the character behind that original messages? Because it could be a total imposture sitting there basically just trying to do what they want to do. And, I'm here to tell you I'm real, okay? I'm raw. I'm on Instagram raw. I hadn't even shaved this morning, okay? I'm going to go that clear with you. I'm not afraid to step up to the plate and tell you like it is, all right? Now, of course, some of my very best friends, and I'm gonna share this side of it too. They say, be generous, be loving, be forgiven. And so on this side of the field, yes, I am going to be loving. I'm moving past this. Okay, that's no problem. In fact, I'm way past it because there's a lot more that we have to do now than that. We did what we had to do. I'm just letting you know that despite the forgiveness that I have, does not mean that the consequences of the person that did what they did are actually not going to be resolved. They would. I'm just letting you know that this is something that is definitely not acceptable. All right. So how am I muted? somehow or another, I don't know what had happened there. Wow. So we're watching to see what's what. Okay. So now, with that being said, because I don't know how much, I've done, what I want to share with you is a little bit of, you know, watching what you are saying. It's very important to watch what you are saying because you don't know who you'd be saying it to. So if you are that model, okay, that is, or actor, dancer, singer, what have you, that is actually working the details, okay, of basically of looking to get with an agency or working with top models or just with producers or what have you. It is extremely, extremely important to know how you speak with someone, okay? Even if there is something in question, like if you are wanting to question something, let's say, okay, you see the top model on my website, right? First of all, do you go straight to the top model and start having a conversation? Like, are you signed with them? Are you, you know what I mean? Like there's like very weird, I wouldn't say it's actually weird. I mean, it's probably, they would be interesting questions. You would probably want to ask that. But some of the things that you probably want to be careful of is like as if you're actually auditing the person. So it'd be like, oh, so when is your next booking? Where are you from? What are you doing? How you doing it? Is it like going to be like there are things, unless you're an actual agency doing that. Now, let me be very real with you. This person had claimed to known me, was trying to explain to one of the top models that they had known me. I don't know anyone that hides behind a cat and a dog figure on Facebook or Instagram and would literally just send messages out to various people that they think is going to be important to do that. For their whatever their agenda is. But I thought it was interesting. And in fact, I actually thought it was funny. It was probably the cherry on top for the day of what my day was yesterday. See, I didn't actually share this with you yesterday, but while I was so excited, I actually had a very, very horrible day. I'm not going to lie. Today is much better. When I was shared with that, yeah, I had concerns, okay, because rules are rules. SLMTA has guidelines that we have to go through. And even though that I may be the CEO, I still have to be the model and actually showcase those rules. So therefore, when things like this happen, I have to send them the risk management, let them investigate on it, and then let them handle that, right? Okay, so we know that part, right? But it was really the cherry on top to get me a smile for several reasons. One is I don't know who this person is. Two, this person not only claims that they know who I know, but apparently this young lady is a friend of this person. Okay, so now what was the first thing that we've ended up doing in the investigation? Was looking at all three women that was associated with actual SLMTA to find out everything about every single person. Oh yeah, I mean, that's their job. That's what they do. I'm just letting you know Now that's what it boils down to. And we said it, and I was told that the girl was young. So it left me with two options. There were only two options at that point. So, I'm not sure what is going on with that situation. But what I will tell you is that when this is said and done, I'm pretty sure that they'll know not to do that again, especially if they're actually looking to be not even with an agency, but just to have the connection. So we're going to do another video. If not tonight, it will be tomorrow evening on Evening SLMTA about how you develop connections in the industry and the collaboration points, because I feel like it's extremely important. But you have to hear this message first. You have to know that what you say and who you say it to matters the most to your credibility. Okay? And the biggest thing, even if none of the first two things mean anything, at least, please, if you're going to say something, spell check your spelling, because some of that just didn't really make any sense anyway. It really didn't. All right. And just that alone, because like I said, I understood what it was saying, which is the whole reason why I took the risk management. But for the most part, if it was just like craziness, your credibility would have been like, I don't know if I even want to attempt talking to this person. And that's where it happened. Like some of our models have brought it to my attention, especially our top model. That brought it to my attention. There was only 4 sentences in the whole thing that was answered back. Well, actually 2. The word "show me" and "thank you," and I forget what the other words were. It was like, "Thank you." I forgot what the other word was. Oh, well, it's not even that important. The point is that the person literally made a mockery of themselves messaging to someone that is important, while at the same time, if it is somebody that could have had potential, they would have had a connection to be able to get into the industry. So instead, they decided, and I look at it as something that comes out of jealousy. It happened, it's normal, okay? But we want to make sure that we stop it at ends meet. So what I'm getting at, and these kind of things are found out, but we also got to remember too, that also what is to be found out is how you're going about finding it out. Ooh, that might pinch some toes. It might rip them right off for what I have to say right here. I know for a fact that the message, okay, was in total disguise. Hello, Amit Sankar, how are you? I know that the message was in disguise. And how I know that is because while the message was flowing, there were a lot of questions, a lot of things that like pop up real fast. And that is spelling. That has to do with verbiage, how it's being announced. And by the way, on top of it, we have to know what the verb and a noun is in a sentence as well. I like to bring that up. Like, I know you're probably saying, well, why are you disguised? What's wrong with you? What are you doing today? I want to bring this to you because there are some people that are saying they, them, and then it goes straight to like third person, like him, her. Well, who is it? What are you talking about? Is it them and they, he or she, or is it her and him? Or what's going on, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, so if you sign with them, well, that's if you sign with them, but who is the he and what is the I and the it and all this involved? See, particles, contractions, all this stuff is very important when you're writing in English. Okay, I'm not here to give you an English lesson. I'm here to basically tell you that here's someone that speaks 16, maybe, I might be exaggerating, like 6 to 10 different languages, plus English on a certain level, and actually understands what it was saying, but still doesn't understand why it was written that way. Now, I'm the type of person where I basically, again, like I say it like it is. So it could pinch toes, it could rip toes off, it could step on toes, whatever the case may be. But I'm here to alert you that there is, I should say, a message that is or has been going around. Now, what we try to do is we try to stop it immediately. Now, the difference between this is that instead of them saying see, people don't even know what the word scam means, but the definition is someone getting scammed by putting a picture up and exposing them to agencies and whatnot is a scam, and they're not even paying anything for it. Excuse me, I'm confused. now, I'm just basically putting it out there that if you see any message that sounds such as that, to be careful and pay no mind to it, because it is happening out there, and I don't know if it's a robot or if it's actual people or what, but I do feel that this message is being in disguise, meaning that it's an imposter acting as someone talking about something that actually didn't happen to basically throw defamation of character or business, and their sole goal is to try to hurt others for their own gain. Okay, so that's what that is. So be very careful, because I know that there are other agencies that are like mine, where now mine is a little bit more broader. We have the mother agency for Dreamers Division, and then we also are the national agency, world renowned, and it also includes union, non-union actors and what have you. But that's why we have decided that we are going to stop advertising. Like, I do it very, very little now. That we have decided that we're going to stop advertising, and actually just when bookings happen, that's when we're going to put it up. Okay? Because I feel as if, first of all, that's more important, but we will feature you. Yes, we have that. We do have our slideshow where we will be featuring. But those features are for two reasons only, and we're actually going to start dividing them into galleries and collections as well. There's going to be two groups, two major groups. One that is signed with us, and the second one is going to be, and I'm just going to leak it out, but it's not going to happen yet because I want to try to get other training agencies involved. And I believe one wants to do something like this anyway. But the other gallery is going to be for dreamers who are just wanting to get connected in the industry, not really be signed. So then they will actually sign a photo release, and it would be basically like a guild of all these collective parties that are in there, and it's already been set up. It's just a matter of interacting with it and having other people work all those things out, those details out. So, and that is a collaboration project. So this will not be just a SLMTA ordeal, although it will be SLMTA rendered, meaning that the ownership is to the collective party, so it'll be named by whatever we want to name this specific project. And then there you go. All right, but that's all I'm going to say about that right now. So that would mean that those who did test shoots or went to open calls or what have you, that had signed a photo release, you guys will actually end up going in there, while the others that actually did sign with us fully, completely, and did the photo release will actually be listed in the gallery as who you are. All right. So that's what we're doing. That's going to be the changes that are going to happen, and that will be it. But let me explain to you evidently what is going to happen with the credibility of this, of whatever this is, when we get done its thing. We always bring everything to light. So that means don't be surprised what name might come out of it. The consequence with SLMTA is that you become flagged, and then there are going to be real actual agencies that are going to question what the flag is, and there will be a note in it about what it was with all the files that render that proof. It will not show up live. In other words, you know, whatever that happens from this won't show up live, but there will be a file that will only be seeable by those who question the flag. At that point, that's your credibility, but it is because of the action that was taken. This is one of the ways that you actually end up finding yourself being embarrassed by a national agency, world renowned, where you're trying to talk to a model who is very prosperous in this industry. Okay, that's just one issue. Then there are other reasons that you would be flagged as well, not this particular person, but in general. You would be flagged if you are posing as somebody else in order to get a job, but then realize that we realize that you are not that person. And that even happens with our contests. That's why we have such a review process. And we ask you right inside of the application when you submit that you go and send us well, not us, but you send an email to someone who actually knows you. Okay. and will actually be able to provide the information that is being requested there. All right. If you notice in the context, it does not show that now it does say resume, but you can actually reverse that with another picture and then submit in the comment section in there about about what types of experience you had. But if you did have experience and you're putting it in the comment section, then I would assume that the email that you're going to send, because it is necessary, okay, that is going to be somebody from one of those other experiences, and they would be able to provide those experiences. I will tell you this, and I might have to add that in there. That's an easy fit. So it cannot be from your brother or your sister who may have those photos, or that you could easily just send them to. It would have to be like, if you don't have experience like that, you put on a resume, but let's say you had a photographer that done photos for you. Then we would want to see from the photographer the original, okay, of the photo shoot. Okay, and the photographer will explain who they are and etc., because their credibility would show up on there for what information we're looking for. The reason that we do this is to stop all that just happened. That, I mean, I had 3 people in a row tell me this, and it's a situation that is not good, because some of them are not even models with the agency as of yet, and it causes issues about, yeah, it does hurt a little bit with my credibility as well. I'm not going to lie, it does for a minute there. It will play around with my credibility, but all in all, it hasn't made anything different change as far as what we're doing. All we did is just take what they're doing, and now we're putting it into our favor. Okay, so now you're claiming that we actually are just going to go posting people up there without permission. All right, well, I made sure that I have my paperwork, because there's paper trail. And there's emails that are coming back and forth with signed documents. So I have that, okay? And basically, a long story short, what we plan to do is, when we do have new dreamers signed, there's going to be a featured slideshow just for that. Like, hey, congratulate so-and-so, and then there will be a photo, not a whole collage of photos, but a photo that will be in that thing. Because what this is telling me are a couple of things. If this person's that good to pose like this, then we could have that person actually steal that photo to try to prove that that's what they're talking about, when in actuality, we don't get the message unless someone truthful is coming to us to tell us about it. In this case, it actually didn't take long at all. When I had submitted and showcased the Levi thing with abstract fallacy, almost immediately, a few days after that, somebody had gotten so jealous that they posed as something or someone to go and spread the message. So I'm here to tell you that everything that SL Models and Talent Agency LLC does is genuine, legit, and is in process to only build from that. And whatever this is, I'm not too worried about it, because it doesn't cause any harm. And believe it or not, what's even more funny is, who wouldn't want an agency, right, to put up a good model photo, not charging them a dime at all to do it, and let our contacts actually see them. Who would actually be downright ugly about it? It sure wouldn't be me. And I'm pretty sure any agency would love to have done that, right? So SL Models and Talent Agency tries everything that we can do to make the benefit for all levels of experience, whether you're inexperienced at all, have some experience, been to college, or you are a supermodel, superstar individual, or just a pro. So that is that. So when you're sending in these messages like this, yeah, it is true. Watch who you're saying it to, but at the same time, watch what you are saying. Because you could have switched it all the way around. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but you could have just switched that thing all the way around to the point that you could have had a connection. And then whatever your motivation was, in this clear sense, this person literally was posing, okay? And so in this instant, there is no way of knowing whether or not this person is real or who is out there that's doing it. So when you're watching what you're saying, if it is someone out there that is confused about what SL Models and Talent Agency is doing, it's always good to just ask me question. It's even as good as saying, you could go to some of the models if you wanted to and say, hey, I'm excited to see blah, 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 whatever. And then to be like, how would you be signed to be a model? You know, or questions that are pertaining to the process of it. Because if we're getting pro models, if we're getting superstar elites, if we are getting emergent models and whatnot, then, you know, I could tell you this much, it's someone that's posing and it's someone that is actually a wannabe that probably cannot even fit in. And it's just literally, you know what I'm saying? And if it is actually even worse than what I thought it is, meaning that it is someone that's professional but actually posed, wow, that's just a shame. You want to talk about losing credibility? That's probably the worst act that you could do. So I'm saying this in love, okay? Even though I might be stepping on some toes, and I'm probably ripping the toes off of the person that might be hearing me right now. If that is you, you can email me without posing with a name and tell me what the problem is. And then I could tell you exactly what you would need to know. And the email address is slmtagency@gmail.com. Don't be afraid to message me and question what you may have, okay? So again, be careful of posers because they're actually coming at you on a whole nother level. See, I've been talking a lot, and so has other agencies been talking about how people steal photos. But now what people are doing is they are claiming a scam that's not really a scam. See, let me just go right straight to dictionary.com and I'll tell you exactly what a scam is. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm worried about anyone thinking that it's a scam, because we don't do scams here. Everything is legit and promised, and we hold to what we are doing. Even with this one little promise that literally broke when in April because of glitches, I said May 1st it was going to launch. It is launching. Now, some folks will probably go and pose and say, oh, you know, things like whatever, because a lot of this has been happening now that they've been seeing the momentum. And I feel like this is coming out of jealousy that are out there. And it's got to be somebody that probably knows exactly who I am, but is not actually dictating who they are. So that's why I'm telling you, just be careful. Okay, a scam is a confidence game or other fraudulent scheme, especially for making a quick profit, or like swindling somebody. It's like cheating or defrauding with a scam, right? So a lot of what we were actually talking about, a lot of what I'm talking about right now is that what SL Models and Talent Agency LLC is doing for you guys is basically just allowing everyone together to participate in a great contest. But there are times where there are some individuals who want to sign the information for the photos. The only thing that I could think of, and nothing even came about it, is an email with someone who sent us pictures but have never replied, and therefore nothing has happened. That's a whole nother topic. If you are a pro model or someone that you're claiming that you are a pro, or that you have some kind of experience in it, the best case scenario is that you want to be able to visualize yourself as such, not take yourself away. And there was an individual, actually, no, there were two individuals. I can remember that, but one actually had not even submit photos. They were just giving me sizes and who they were. And all, no, actually, no, they did send photos. That's correct. Yeah, they sent, I think, 2 or 3 photos. And they claimed that they had experience and that they wanted to do this, or this, or they wanted to expand and all that. I feel as if people are signing up, which is almost making me narrow it even down more further, because we were checking the IP addresses to match that with what was also going on the other thing as well. And what it boils down to is that it could actually be within Michigan. See, I give everybody a chance to actually give us information, and then we actually give them the contract to read, and then ask questions and go forward. That's how SL Models and Talent Agency, well, works when it's a signing process. But now there's a whole nother process which takes a little bit longer. If you're a dreamer, you could be telling me that you have all this stuff, like, oh, I'm looking like a sexy mama, but that doesn't mean nothing to us unless you actually, unless you can actually do something about it. And we're going to talk about that because the trends of getting in with an agency and the trends of what the agencies are doing, and also the trends of what you should be doing, are actually changing. Okay? And social media is a thing now, believe it or not. It's almost like it's your own way of marketing for your own brand. Okay? But I'm pretty sure that that person in their own marketing, who could probably be sitting here listening to me right now, is probably like, oh, wow, they actually like, they knew that fast that this was happening. Like, what's going on? Oh yeah, we actually have believe it or not, sophisticated items that help us catch the scams and everything, or any defamation, etc. So you will be found out almost instantaneously, if not a few days. It will happen. And I told you the one thing you don't want to do is try it out. And somebody was brave enough and actually tried it out. So congratulations. But I'm here to let you know that your tryout is going to give you your ultimate reward. Okay. So, and I'm about to end this conversation here in a few moments. But I wanted it to literally share with you the importance of behaving, of how you speak, or what is important in speaking, okay? What you're saying to a person, or saying to a possible connection. I've already told you that through some of our top models, we now have connections that are fitting way more than what we already have. I turned around and bought in. I'm not going to lie. There was this woman selling $19.99 on all these contacts about how you could be a independent musician. And I turned around and took the whole entire thing and started Xing out who I cannot get a hold of versus who I could get a hold of. And then I compiled a whole list that is now about 6 inches thick of about thousands of contacts within the industry, whether it's film and direction and staging or what have you. Oh yeah, and if you want to know if that's true, I'll validate it. I'll actually put it up on a thing. If that's what it's going to take, I'll show it to you. I don't have to do it, but I'll show it to you. As a matter of fact, I'll even screenshot it, believe it or not. I'll actually send it, I'll actually do a live and share my screen that has every single one of those things, because I put it on the screen, I put it in paper, I put it in writing. So everything is accurate, and depending where I'm at, I even got a copy in the car in case if I have to go and scrounge around and be like, okay, A, B, C, D, okay, Delta, let me contact them, right? Oh yeah. And my phone, I may have to go get another phone because I don't even have like enough space to hold all the contacts that are in it. Folks, let's just be real, okay? Like this, if you're gonna spend time sitting there talking just garbage, then start digging in it, because what did I tell you? You are what you are, what you put in. So if you put nothing in, then you're gonna get nothing out of it. It doesn't matter if you're signed. It doesn't matter if you're just giving me a photo. It doesn't matter if you send an email one time and then don't reply. See, I send an email. I don't even go back. Sometimes I go back to check up. But most of the time, I will reply when I see it within the 3 days. And if you're not doing nothing, then by the time 3 days are already up, and I'm not seeing that, and then another week, by then I'm pretty much already determined with the final choice, so I'm not really going to be interested. Because it shouldn't take two weeks or even longer to decide to do something that you already put the first step forward to doing. So that's between you and yourself, what you're going to do about fixing that problem. But that has nothing to do with the agency. Now, if I was able to legitimately go straight to the person, my question would actually be, Can you show me what woman I actually had featured, or what girl you're talking about that was on a website that I pulled off? Because in other words, if you can't back up what you're trying to say, then how are you going to go ahead and do that? And I think that was probably the other line that he did, because I know he said show me. So he was able to show that whoever this person was able to show the picture that I was using. But the question was posed, well, what was the girl that was on the site that was taken off? So with that being said, and the same three girls, believe it or not, that I have on the roster are still on the site. And until they initiate a conversation, because I would honor it, I honor anything to be, believe it or not, ask any of the actual models that signed with us. Okay, there is one where I'm just putting his pictures up and I'm using the actual stage name that is being requested because he doesn't want the real name out there. So get ready, get ready, get ready. I know that there are those posers and haters out there. I'm very well done. I'm not gonna entertain it anymore. I wanted to just share this video with you guys because I thought it was going to be very important to let you know that it is happening. You gotta be very cautious, because they would be stealing your photos for any reason to try to say something. They know, I'm pretty sure this particular person probably even knows that there's only been specific photos. I'm just curious to figure out what photo they're going to try to say and how they're going to be able to screenshot that everybody was tagged in that photo of that particular girl. Because as far as I'm concerned, the only three people that are on my list that are female related right now, well, it is changing. It is changing. But two of them are actually more about open calls. They're about open calls and doing modeling gigs, and they help the agency. Okay, Iris being one of them. But I'm actually very confused by by those different things. So anyway, moving forward, your credibility matters about how you are speaking, who you speak it to, and also your efforts, what work that you are doing to make it happen. My credibility as of right now is to show you that I'm going to still keep pushing forward despite this phony scenario that had happened. Because business cannot stop over a person or maybe two people, who knows. I don't know what's going on out there as of yet. But it can't stop because of that. And neither can you guys make the wrong decisions over some poorly spelled miscellaneous dilemma that cannot actually even be credible to the person writing it. Oh yeah, I'll go that far. Because again, what that is I call that a phony advertisement on basic BS. That's what I call that. Because what it does, it develops a whole nother, it could go into judgmental excuses and emotional excuses. judgmental because as soon as someone just hears one little thing, it's like, oh, okay, it's got to be true. They'd rather just not, you know what I mean? They'd rather just, it's easy just to run away and then get nowhere than it is to actually see what the actual results are. And again, your results is what you put into it. It's like starting a business. All right. If you just say, okay, I filed an EIN, I registered my LLC, I'm going to work, I've lost all this money, but there's nothing I want to do with it. And because nothing is happening, I guess I'm not going to worry about doing all the other things. Well, then we have to look at the priorities. And the priorities is as follows, because that's what happened with SLMTA. I had to make a rough decision. Do I want to pay this or get out of that to save that or do whatever, right? And it happened. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's a natural thing that happens, especially being a business owner. You're not going to see any real profit. If you thought that you were going to just sit there, start business, and that you were going to be a millionaire by next year at that time, then you got to be joking. Business doesn't work that way. Not unless you're putting $1 million into it. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Or you come up with some creative and not actually just, you know, when I coach people in business to try to help them in evolving their businesses, it's basically, and it goes the same way. I got to bring this up too, since I'm on this topic. This thing about collaboration. One thing that I have learned recently that I'm going to tell you very loud and clear. SLMTA would love to join any project that anyone is doing. And if you need the sponsorship of, like, say we go 50-50, for example, then the question is the event that you plan to do going to reach the ultimate goal? Now, this might step on some folks' toes as well. Let's say that I wanted to do a contest with an agency where the budget is $6,000, but they're telling me they're only going to make $2,000. Would I actually collaborate with that? Think about that a minute. Would I actually collaborate with that? No. And why would I not do that? Because even if we went 50-50, we both are taking a loss of $1,000. So at this point, I can't afford any more of a loss when I've already gotten losses, and the losses are just have continued to erupt. You know, that's an example that I'm talking about. So the one that has to really do a budget plan is a person that's creating the event to begin with. And then you got to figure out, okay, after you're doing the budget plan, then you got to figure out, can I make that kind of money in what I'm trying to do? In other words, if you have a building and it only fits 50 people, but they're asking you for $1,000 and you can only charge 20 bucks, is that something that you could do? And simple math will tell you that $20 for 50 people, I mean, that's breaking even. And that's the bare minimum that you could do. So if you're trying to make a profit, is it worth that space to raise it up to say 50? If there is a reason that the worth is to raise it to $50, then go ahead and do it. Then you're going to be making $1,000. Then it's something to think about because, okay, I'm making a profit on it. It's the other way of investing without asking the investor to invest. You're asking them to collaborate in the project that is needed. But the first question they're going to ask, which I've learned this is actually knowledge, this is experimental. I have actually learned that I cannot get involved with projects that basically don't have an open-end message to it. In other words, the budget should have been the first thing before you came to me. All right, it's going to cost $6,000. Okay, so what are you planning to do? And then when you collaborate, the collaboration is depending upon how you want to do business with the person. Now, this kind of helps some of you artists out there because I think some of you guys, especially musicians, take the easy way and say, oh, I'll just take, say $1,000, I'm good. Yeah, that may be true. You might get the $1,000, but then look at, now I'm fair. Anything with SLMTA, I usually pay out bonuses. So I might say, okay, $1,000, and then we make, say, $75,000. We may just go ahead and actually pay 10% of that. And then you would have a good, healthy paycheck. It's still a piece there because what it is it tells you that we truly value your business, your collaboration, your negotiation, all of that. That's what that truly does. It doesn't do anything more than that. But if you think about it, if you really do think about it, when you're ignoring some of those agencies out there, but then again, it depends. It depends. If you're dealing with a bunch of phony agencies that will say they're doing something that never paid you, then that could be an issue. I can understand that, where you would do a base pay or something like that. Now, what I decided to do, or what I'm going to start doing come next year, 2022, is we're going to do a base pay, and then we're going to actually do the bonus. So that they actually know. In other words, instead of saying we're going to pay you $5,000 for a live event, we're going to actually see what audience we generate with you, and we'll pay you, say, $1,000 to show up, and then we would end up paying you the bonus, and the bonus would be like, say, 10-15% of additional from what we are doing. Why? Because the percentage, the commission, in all honesty, will pay you more, but you have to know that you're working with a legitimate, genuine agency that understands that. With that being said, I know that this poser is actually just weird. Okay, I'll put it that way. I try to be as professional as I could. But anyway, this person, I'm not sure what the motivation is really to defame, and I'm guessing it, and the true guess is that it's out of jealousy. Why? Because wait until you hear about the music festival, who we're going to have lined up for that. If you think that I'm just going to throw phony pictures there, oh my God, you haven't seen nothing yet. Go ahead, question them. They're ready for your message. Whether they answer it or not is up to them. But I'm letting you know that, let me just be straightforward. If you're not doing nothing but wanting to defame an agency or defame another person, then just mind your own business, because you don't have any real true motivation with that, you know? All you're doing is killing your credibility, and it's going down and down and down. Why even waste your time with that, right? The reason that I took about an hour to talk to you guys is because I mainly use this example to help you guys understand that there is a new thing going on out there now, where people are going to pose as you to try to kill your credibility, thinking that you're the one saying something that somebody else is saying, in turn trying to use that other friend's photo to claim that something happened. Luckily for me, I was new enough, so I knew what was on my roster. So I knew that they were pulling chickens before they were hatching anyway. Yes, we do have people that sign up every day, but we know what we're looking for, and we have a variety. Birds View Entertainment is still looking for roles to fill. Instead of sitting there pretending like you're somebody urgently worried about something that didn't happen, okay, you could have probably auditioned and landed yourself, you know, some money on a role. Oh yeah, then you could really pose. You could pose as probably the doctor psychiatrist that is in the show that Tammy wants you to be in. If you're Hispanic, okay, yeah, really. If you're that good at posing behind a dog and a kitty cat photo on Facebook, then you gotta be that good. If you're Hispanic, you could be Dr. I forget what the name is, but you could be the doctor psychiatrist on a show. You can earn yourself some money, because you're not making no money sitting there doing that. And you're not killing my credibility, because we're just growing and we're doing what we need to do. So that's all I got to tell you. I hope y'all have a very blessed evening. If I am back on live tonight, it will be, it will most likely end up being probably late tonight. And we will be talking about connection and collaboration at that point. And I might actually start popping up on Instagram for a little bit, just so that you guys get a fair share of some of the stuff that I'm doing. But for now, enjoy your day, and I will see you very soon.